A firm intends to leverage AWS Systems Manager documents to automate the initial configuration of physical developer laptops, with the necessary automation logic residing in a GitHub repository. The setup has already progressed to the point where Systems Manager activations are established, and the SSM agent is successfully installed and registered on all target devices. Which procedure should follow to initiate the bootstrap process from GitHub?
All right, here's the question. A project manager on your team wants to ensure all developers run Git repository files into an S3 bucket using AWS Systems Manager document without the use of Git client software. Which functionality can AWS Lambda hosted use in this scenario? Option A, update the Systems Manager document to utilize the AWS run shell script command to move the repository files into an S3 bucket, subsequently using the AWS download content plugin with an S3 source type. Option B, configure the Systems Manager document to employ the AWS configure package plugin, setting the install action to reference the Git repository URL. Option C, set up the Systems Manager document to use the AWS download content plugin, specifying the GitHub source type and providing the repository metadata within the source info block. Option D, set up the Systems Manager document to use the AWS download content plugin, specifying the GitHub source type and providing the repository metadata within the source info block.
Option D, configure the Systems Manager document to use the AWS.software inventory plugin to trigger the execution of the scripts located in the Git repository. At its core, this question tests your understanding of AWS Systems Manager documents and their ability to interface with external code repositories. It asks specifically about the most efficient and native mechanism to pull content directly from a remote source like GitHub to a managed or hybrid device.
In my view, the correct answer is option C. The AWS Download Content plugin is specifically built for this purpose. It allows Systems Manager to pull content from various sources, including GitHub, S3, and HTTP endpoints, directly into a managed node. By defining the source type as GitHub and configuring the source info parameter with the repository details, you create a direct pipeline for your bootstrapping scripts.
Looking at why the others are incorrect, Option A adds unnecessary complexity. Copying files to S3 before downloading them is an extra step that is not required when direct support for GitHub exists. Option B is incorrect because the AWS configure package plugin is designed for installing software packages, not for fetching generic bootstrap scripts. Finally, option D is wrong because the software inventory plugin is meant to gather metadata about what is installed on a node, not to run configuration scripts.